Akwa Ibom State. As time permits, we'll also spotlight the issue of potholes in Akwa Ibom. What's the update? The man around town, my guest, will tell me. Well, I'm limited in my movement. He's everywhere. I mean, he's got like unlimited reservoir of fuel, So yeah, so he can go everywhere, and he could also bring us up to speed with the waste management issue, the waste, the piling up of the Akwa Ibom State. What's going on? We're also going to be asking critical questions. But ladies and gentlemen, join me as we welcome to begin the conversation with me. Of course, on the big talk this morning, you know that Akwa Ibom is our focus every Wednesday. The State Director, Center for Human Rights and Accountability Network, or TWICOM, Franklin de Golfer Isong. Good morning to you. Welcome.
I feel so excited that you introduced golfer in your introduction. I think golf is life. I keep saying this, and I motivate people to play golf. I want you to also come and test the golf course. And we have one of the best golf courses in Nigeria. So
undoubtedly.
Come and test the golf course. Good morning once again to the flight captain. Good morning to our listeners.
You know, that sounded kind of like Clyde Factor. Clyde Factor. All right, so I was just talking about how I was, reading from the Book of Lamentations this morning, the power situation in Akwa Ibom. It's unbecoming of the service providers. Of course, I did talk about the fact that power goes off for a day or two. Nobody explains anything to anybody. But Trico, let's talk about electricity situation in Akwa Ibom State. First off, do you experience what I experience, or are you living where they give you direct light from government house?
I want to say with all sincerity of purpose, I am not using the power, what is it called?
Electricity.
Power
From the service providers,
PHED. I'm not using the power supply. I'm using my own power, which is the solar power, both in my office and both at home. But my neighbors have complained. There are complaints across the state that the power situation in Akwa Ibom State has become so worrisome, and I felt so bad about it because I know that in the 5th Alteration Act 2022, the National Assembly amended the second schedule to our Constitution 1999 to make provision that the exclusive legislative list that the state governors, the state can now build power stations, generate power and distribute. And this is why you see in Abia State, I think Alesoti is doing very well in this regard. Sadly enough, Akwa Ibom State government was amongst the first to come up with the idea of owning a power substation,
the
power supply, the Ibom Power, and this was conceived by the Urban Waters Administration in 2000, talking about 26 years ago. So Urban Water had the vision, had a dream that today we don't need to be talking about power. We should be able to own our power, generate power, distribute, and even sell to others. And so this idea of Urban Water, it commenced the construction in 2005. The Gospel Akwa administration took off from there in 2000 and on the 14th December 2009, the Urban Gospel Akwa administration completed the first phase of the power, the power plant. Then we went into commercial operations, generating, power, and also, giving to the national grid. This is what we had in Akwa Ibom State as of 2009. Now, down the line, what has happened? Why are we complaining of today? I'm complaining today that we don't have power in Akwa Ibom State. We are supposed to be the first partaker, of this good that our government thought wise 26 years ago that we should have. I got series of complaints. Our office, our center has received series of petitions and complaints against the management of power in Akwa Ibom State. And so yesterday or before now, we started asking why, to know why there is power outage. And so we engaged the PHED, and then they told us that, well, unfortunately, we are DISCO. We are operating based on what we have. And so far, that we don't have power from the transition company of Nigeria, the TCN. Their lines have collapsed. It's, the
national grid
have collapsed, and so that they don't have power to to supply to the disco, to them, the PHED. So that is the point. So we now find out that before now, when there is power outage, when the national grid of TCN collapses, the PHED will resort to Ibom Power Company to give them power. So what now happened? We now had to get across to Ibom Power to find out if they are playing that role and what is actually happening in Ibom Power. Sadly, Ibom Power had been down since August
last year.
Since August last year. Sometime last year, I was invited to a power summit at Ikot 4 Point by Sheraton Hotel. I refused to attend. And my position was very clear that you don't need a power summit to get Ibom Power to operate. A bill was put before the House of Assembly that seek to make the state build, operate, generate, and distribute power. We were in the public hearing. Then I think Mayor Itukudo was the MD of Ibom Power. The commissioner for power then was Dr. Colinus Omo. And we were all at the House of Assembly. I don't know what has become of the bill because the bill was subsequently passed, but assent has not been given. Now that is, by the way, you don't need a power summit to be able to generate power, to be able to distribute power and make your people feel better that what they are rightly entitled, because you have already commenced you have the plant. When Governor Omano became governor, I think 3 months into his government, he ordered an audit into the Ibom Power activity, Ibom Power Company activity. I think he went visiting there and came out and ordered for an audit. Staff were owed salaries. I remember that he ordered that the salaries be paid. We came here and made an advocacy, if you could remember, that the workers of Ibom Power were owed. And he ordered that audit be made and then workers be paid. And so subsequently, there was a kind of a reform that was put on board. The former MD was removed, and then the commissioner for power was now, the governor swapped the ESCO, and then the commissioner for power was dropped. He was appointed the MD of Ibom Power. Now, the question I'm putting up now is that Ibom Power had been down since, sometime last year, towards August till today. What is the reason? We also dig into to know why, and our findings indicated that Ibom Power do not have gas to operate the power plant. And where do they get this gas from? They get this gas from Savannah Energy Company. And Savannah Energy, why have you not been given Ibom Power gas to be able to run the power plant to give us power? So we all made our findings, and from what we discovered was that the Ibom Power Company is allegedly owing Savannah Energy their payment supply, because they are a private company. They give you gas, you pay. And so when we found out from this, we are surprised that Ibom Power Company allegedly is owing Savannah Energy backlog of unpaid debt. And so we now engage the Savannah Energy to find out why have you not been given power to gas to Ibom Power Company. They also, for our sources said they have gas. Currently there is gas at Savannah Energy. Right now they are supplying gas to Udubani. They are supplying gas to Lafarge Cement Company in Calabar. And those people are paying, as well as they get the gas, they pay. So if they are operating from Akwa Ibom State, which is their operational base, where they have the gas, recall sometimes we had a gas leakage at Ukarafon, which we went with the assembly to see. And those lines were owned are owned by Savannah Energy. So if they are operating in Akwa Ibom and we have a gas turbines that need to be powered by gas, why wouldn't we have gas? So because they are private companies, they need to get their monies to operate their activities. That is why they have not been supplying gas to Ibom Power Company. And why should Ibom Power Company be owing Savannah Energy gas, their backlog? So these are the to and fro. That is why you could see, I saw a report sometime or in the media, that the government has gone into agreement with Ibom CNG to have gas and so on. And I'm wondering, what is really happening to us? an idea that was conceived by the government 26 years ago. Till today, we are still at the drawing board. Unless it just came on board, not up to 2 years. Today, Abia State has become, has been enjoying steady power supply. So we, the CSOs, have become so pained, and we are perturbed that the government is not putting more interest in the power sector. There's no how you can do any economy, any activity, any investment without power. You are running this station because you have power here, and perhaps you are using generator.
We're running on gen.
That's the point.
I've been complaining 2
That's
days
the point.
now. I mean,
so
the situation is painful.
It's very annoying.
Yeah.
So it's very annoying.
On gen.
And the most annoying part, my brother, is that there is enabling law now that you can generate power, distribute it, and even use it. So why are we not, when there was no law, when the exclusive legislative list excluded the states from
generation
going into it,
and all of that.
Obonta brought the idea. Gospel Akwa came and completed the gas turbine, the first phase of it. So hoping that there will be a law. Today there has now been a law authorizing you to go into it in full swing. Why are we not having power in Akwa Ibom State? We should be, because if here should be an industrial hub, every private business here will rely on power. If you use fuel to run your business, the cost of those items you are producing will be high.
Definitely.
So that is why if any government want to encourage private sector, active economy, you need to ensure that you have power, security, and good road network. So this is lacking. So power in Akwa Ibom State had been off and on because Ibom Power had been completely down.
And the national grid has collapsed.
No, let's not leave national grid now. That is federal government, power. State government we own our own state, Ibom Power Company. What has it been doing? When you seem to be pointing hand at the federal government, all right under your nose, you have a gas turbine. We have one substation at 4 lanes that the Dome government built. We have another one in my own village, Ekam Town, where the Dome government also built a substation. So ideally, there shouldn't be issue of power outage. There should not be. But because the government has not actually told us what is happening in the power company. I told you that last year I was invited for a summit. I said I will not attend, because for me, I doubt if Alesoti did a power summit before he came up with the idea of giving the people of the state power. So here we are today, and we are calling out the government to tell us what is happening with the power company. From here, we'll be engaging them, and this is going to be the beginning of advocacy for us to begin to ask questions on the activities of the power company and what is happening to power in Akwa Ibom State.
Well,